Wonderfully
Reserve
sexy
time.
voice that is my in-game announcer. We are in the draft. Elements Pro Gaming going up against Ninjas in Pyjamas. I'm Tubby1 here with Gareth, and we are back again.
Reserve time.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was looking at the feedback over on my Twitter. It
Ninjas in
appears I
pajamas
was
turn
too
to ban.
insane. I've had too much coffee or some
Dire
other
team ban.
things.
Accelerant.
Accelerant, yes. So we're gonna chill things up a
Radiant
little bit
team
here,
pick.
Gareth, so people can just mellow.
So we can be like, what was that TV? Frasier. Do you ever watch Frasier, the TV show?
I watched tons of Frasier. I
Man,
used to
that's
watch Frasier before every TI, just so I could prepare myself to go to Seattle.
Oh, really?
Dire
It's actually
team
what I do.
pick.
I go through like multiple seasons each
Oh, wow.
TI.
I haven't watched that show in a long time.
I watch it every year.
It used to be on...
I was in love with Daphne.
Oh, yeah?
Daphne Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
10 seconds remaining.
There used to be always the same, like, 4 TV shows on every Saturday night where I used to live.
5
It'd be Simpsons at
seconds
6 p.m.
remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, it would be, like...
Reserve time.
Oh, my God, the Drew Carey Show.
Yep.
Then you'd
Yeah.
have Frasier. And then they'd have, like, Family Guy or, like, American Dad or one of those TV shows after as well. So it was like a decent mix. And then sometimes Whose Line was on.
Family Guy and American Dad didn't exist when I watched
Oh.
shows as a kid. But there was always the shows I'd
Dire
sneak out to
team
watch.
pick.
Watch Charmed for everyone. Ever watched Charmed?
Was that like the adult version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Just say yes.
No. Sabrina the Teenage Witch I actually enjoyed as a kid.
I mean, Charmed was the one with the
10
3 witches,
seconds
right?
remaining.
Yes.
I don't think I ever watched
The power of 3, which
that. I
one
always
of the
skip that
one of
show.
the sisters dies off, and all of a sudden there's an extra for the
Just add
claim-
another one to make
has
up the
call-
3.
claim on the power
Yeah.
of 3, and then there's another one that randomly appears as well later on. It's like, oh yeah, here's our strange system, which we never told you about.
Cool.
Now it all makes sense, right?
course it
Shows
does.
from the 1990s.
Very good shows.
Yeah, Team Knight Rider, worst series ever made.
Never watched Knight Rider.
Oh, yeah, and you shouldn't. Like, Knight Rider was absolutely. The original Knight Rider was okay.
There was like MacGyver and Hawaii Five-0 and
MacGyver,
all that
McGadget, McGimmick. Yeah.
stuff. Ooh, OD.
Radiant team
Yeah, nice
pick.
and early from Elements.
I mean, this is a pretty important series for both teams, to be honest. And
Tell us why, Gareth.
and-
Tell me a story why.
NIP are currently 3-1. They beat Alliance yesterday with a pretty cheesy draft. They had like Alk, Necro, Venomancer,
10
and they
seconds
kind of
remaining.
ran over Alliance in like 25 minutes, and it wasn't close. It was
5
it was a
seconds
best of one
remaining.
out draft basically.
Mhm.
But Elements Pro Gaming, they are currently 2-2.
Reserve
They've
time.
lost to Bears and Secret, arguably 2 of the stronger teams in this group. They've beaten out Alternate Attacks and Pro Dota, arguably 2 of the weaker teams.
Yep.
So they are like middle of the table right now. So every win is super important. And since Ninjas in Pyjamas, this is their time to kind of, bounce off the board and say, okay, we are in the top 4. If they get this win, they're tied up with Secret Alliance and Bears at 4-1. A win here puts both teams like into reach.
Dire
Puts them
team
into
ban.
reach of that qualification spot.
If Elements could do it. I'm still wondering like who could actually knock Cloud9 through, because like if Ninjas Pyjamas do take this with a 4-1, and then Cloud9's in a rough position because they've got some really rough games looking at this today. Like they're going to play up against Elements too. They're
10
going to play up
seconds
against Team
remaining.
Secret.
Nip, Secret.
And who else? They got Alliance.
5
and Pro
seconds
Dota.
remaining.
That's the Cloud9 games for today.
C9 played against Alliance and lost.
Reserve time.
Wait, that's. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong. The graph on the left is not on the exact same line.
No.
Radiant team
Shiva did the
That's
same
why-
thing. You
that's
just,
why I was like,
line it up.
I'm like, why is that not perfectly lined up? That's actually pissing me off now. They're so close. Yeah.
But yeah, C9 do have to play against Secret, Nip, and Alliance.
Dire
Oh my
team
God. Secret
ban.
and Nip today as 2 stronger teams.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough run for them. So yeah, if Nip can secure this, then Nip. I'm not gonna say they guarantee themselves top, but they should at least guarantee themselves a tiebreaker, I believe, for the 4th position.
10
And it's the
seconds
top 4 that
remaining.
matters. If you don't get top 4, then congratulations,
5
you can watch the
seconds
playoffs.
remaining.
So we're going to assume that Nip beats Bean Boys and Full
Radiant
Protect
team
5, right?
ban.
I would never assume
Dire
anything,
team pick.
but the odds are high.
Yeah. I mean, seeing as Full Protect 5 have only beaten PD and Alternate Attacks, which pretty much everyone's beating, and Bean Boys have done the same thing except they lost to PD, I'd assume that Nip is in with a good
10
chance of
seconds
qualifying.
remaining.
And
They-
they've got Syndran, like you said the other day.
The
Syndran
king
finds
of
a way.
qualifying for
Seconds
Valve
remaining.
tournaments, even though everyone's like he shouldn't, and then Mousebots pick him up as a team.
Of course, qualifying for the
Reserve
playoffs, you're
time.
saying, not qualifying for the actual tournament.
Yes, that will be a very difficult run,
Yes.
but not impossible. You want people to come up with quirky stuff that can potentially win you the game?
Syndran's got a couple of sleeves.
He's got Kai. He's got Honey. You want someone with forward crazy thinking, which makes no sense.
Like Drow Jungle
Uh,
with 5 diffusal blades.
Wait, what? A Drow Jungle I'm okay with.
Okay, he didn't go 5 diffusal blades, but he went Drow Jungle with like 3 diffusal blades because they give a lot of
Radiant
agility, and he
team
was like,
pick.
I'm not joining fights, I'm just giving you guys the Drow aura.
You know, that is so Kai. Kai was one of the first people that tried to convince people to butterfly stack. He thought butterfly stacking was the best. Because the butterfly
10
stacking, it
seconds
was
remaining.
he said it was the most agi efficient item going into late
5
game.
seconds
It gave you
remaining.
more damage than like going things like the MKB and things like this. Like it's like more
Reserve
sustain because you
time.
live for longer, and like with the increase, it wasn't even a draw or a buff up. He was looking at on just normal agility style heroes. That the second butterfly was worth it.
And then your opponent buys an MKB.
Dire
Oh, he didn't care
team
about
pick.
that.
Or a Bloodthorn.
He wasn't countering in like evasion chance. He didn't give a crap about that.
He just wanted attack speed and
Yeah,
agility.
he was just like, you know what, the agility points I get and what I get from agility, like my armor, my damage, it's gonna be so much better.
Okay.
So I just go for that.
10 seconds remaining.
And in some ways it was right. And then the game ended up going for like 80, 90 minutes, and he sold the second
5
butterfly
seconds
and
remaining.
picked up an MKB because he was going up against a butterfly,
Of
and he
course.
couldn't hit with anything.
Reserve time.
Yeah, good times.
Slog.
Good times. Well, we get ourselves a slog for the day.
Radiant
To be honest, I
team
thought we were going to get that when we were watching Faceless earlier today, but
Hmm.
that didn't happen. But our first little nice roaming initiator. Interesting. With the Ogre and Dazzle, it's some really safe lanes from elements.
Yeah,
10
Bloodlust
seconds
onto OD
remaining.
and Slark is huge, being able to grave when you get jumped on by 2 massive
5
initiators
seconds
between Centaur and
remaining.
Slaughter.
Mhm.
You've got save potential, you've got push power. You don't have a great hero
Reserve
to
time.
actually go high ground, so this is going to be like laning stage and team fight wins, try and take Roshan for elements and control the map as early as you possibly can. While NIP, this is like
Dire
all about
team
displacement,
ban.
right? You've got blinks, you've got stuns, you've got catch, you've got kill. So far they don't have too much sustain, but they've got lots of burst power to bring down heroes like Slark and OD, especially in the first 30 minutes. So it's going to be this battle of elements wanting to win the first 25, 30 minutes through
10
brute force,
seconds
raw laning
remaining.
stage power and out farming. But pre-BKB, they are not
5
as
seconds
strong
remaining.
as maybe they'll think they are. You know, because you might have all these items, you might be 3 or 4 levels ahead of your opponents, but one kill on a
Reserve
key hero,
time.
which NIP are obviously very capable of, with a swap back into death,
Mhm.
would put them in a spot of bother. Of course, EPG are dire side as well, so they've got the run of the mill.
Yeah, I'm kind of actually fine with both drafts. I still, now with the VS core,
Radiant team ban.
like I want to see what elements run as their offlaner. Like, okay, you ban up the SF, understandable. There's a lot of negative armor. There's a lot of damage buff up, and that would have given the push to the wave and the counter push to the wave as well. So would have rounded up the NIP
I mean,
lineup quite nicely.
10
This is a
seconds
tinker game for
remaining.
Koikura. There's no real great catch and kill.
Mm.
5
If they ban
seconds
Nyx, yeah.
remaining.
If they ban
Yeah.
Nyx, they're picking Tinker, I'm pretty sure.
Radiant team pick.
Like, Nyx was the only hero left because elements have no way to, like, catch him during March. They've got no way to really chase him around the map. Everyone's very immobile in terms of map positioning. Sure enough, they can buy, like, Hurricane Pikes and Force Staffs and stuff for micro positioning in team fights.
10 seconds remaining.
Chasing a Tinker around the map is very hard.
Can you get some more
5
control? I
seconds
suppose you've already got
remaining.
more than enough control anyway. I was thinking like you could throw in an Ember Spirit, that's the other hero which I think of when you ban out a Nyx Assassin, but the
Reserve
mid lane may
time.
be very, very rough for you against the OD without consistent rotations.
Like, right now, they're thinking, what offlaner screws us? And I don't think there is one. Batrider might be one out there that's a bit annoying to deal with. You've got low range
It would
heroes.
be good against the Tinker.
Or a Magnus.
Tinker.
Magnus might be a pick for elements, actually.
Dire team pick.
You got Catch for Tinker, potentially with, RP Skewer. Got 2 melee heroes to jump on with RP.
Hmm.
And you've got the Empower for Slark, which is pretty nice as well.
I'm wondering though if he looks something which is a little bit more ganky, like a Beastmaster off That's better flying vision, good lane
10
presence.
seconds
What
remaining.
have they had for offlane before? Abaddon is one that they've picked up. Darkseer also, but the
5
others that they've gone
seconds
for
remaining.
previously have all been banned. Oh, Darkseer's banned also, never mind.
Yeah, Darkseer is out.
So what we have left in the pool is like
Reserve time.
Clockwork, Magnus. I think Batrider is probably the best option of the lot.
Clockwork's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Clockwork could get in a lot of
10
trouble if he
seconds
jumps in. Like
remaining.
you talk about like Ninjas in Pyjamas being team displacement. So he's definitely going to have a lot of issues when he goes in. But
Rocket Flare for vision.
yeah, it's the catch. You need the Tinker catch. Like the Slark, yeah, he can run around invis, but Tinker's going to jump into the tree lines, and Slark can't chase into there.
Also very good for splitting up fights with Cogs against Slardar Centaur who want to reposition and try and initiate multiple times. Like Batrider does a similar thing with Firefly, but it's not as rock steady as just throwing Cogs into the middle of a battle. But I think this is a very good Tinker game, to be honest, regardless of that last pick clock. Does decently in lane against an OD. Should have the Crystal. I guess should have the Slardar mid to help him out a little bit against the Ogre. CM and Venge will probably just be safe lane, farming up against the Clockwork.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
it's a Venge one roll here, right? Era
Yeah,
one Venge.
yes,
5
most
seconds
definitely.
remaining.
You're not going to run a Centaur and a Slardar as your two other cores.
I only bring this up because Nip have been sort of swapping around heroes and roles and like, moving things all across the map. But I think they'll go standard. Yeah, Syndra on the Slardar, Honey. Jungle a little bit with the Crystal Maiden to begin with.
Prepare
Yeah.
for battle.
Very much exactly what they should be doing.
Poor man's Shield Centaur is so annoying. Just PMS plus return equals do not harass me, you idiots.
That's all right. I'm wondering how well LeBron's going to do up against him. He bring 4 tangos and boost the lane, so at least you know, hey, I'm going to have the movement speed against you, and smoke break. Still has an observer and a sentry visible on him when he does this kind of play. Threw down the other obs ward very close to the tier 1 tower on top lane. And now he's going to move into the default position. Just that Radiant Observer. Okay, it just watches him go up. And then he puts down the Observer ward. So yeah, that may flag that they know exactly where the obs is.
I do wonder if they saw that.
Yeah, because he only just came into vision.
Yeah.
Very short span of time, he just came into
30
vision for it.
seconds
Bring up
to
chat
battle.
for a second. What's with the capital F? It's like good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun. Why are people capitalizing the F? What's going on?
I don't know.
They're doing this on purpose. Some secret message being passed between the teams.
Somebody find out. Like, is it a meme that we're just not up with?
Maybe so. A meme between the teams.
Either that, they just copied it because someone mistyped
The
it.
battle begins.
LeBron as well as Goggy. Okay, this is a little bit greedy. Syndrome, he's going to crush available. You got Hoof Stomp available too, so you can keep the Ogre Magi in position. Laser is available, so they got the burst damage, and this should be the death of LeBron. Laser will fly out. They don't have the range.
Oh dear.
2 melees as well as 1 range. They can't catch up to the Ogre, so he'll get out and away. And that's the start.
And this means that OD gets a full block on his wave and Tinker doesn't because of that kill attempt.
But this is also quite for him mid.
It's
So-
also a Tinker in mid. Laser is a wonderful ability.
And they drags the creep wave away from like the imprisonment. Keeps it up on the high ground, so you only still get the range creep. Still the one you want, but still.
Still not the best. And then of course this is going to be like a one-on-one and a one-on-one at mid lane. Ogre against Slardar and OD against the Tinker. Trixie playing his wonderful Centaur again.
The D-warding. He could see it. It's like 100 gold just sitting on the other side of the river. If only he had a tango, it would be so much easier just to jump up and take it. But Cinderin trying to cancel the clarity more than anything else. While the OD's being very aggressive, Cinderin can move over, potentially can go for the crush here. It's more harassment now than anything else, and in fact, it's going the opposite direction. The body block from LeBron. Cinderin might have gone in way too deep. Try and juke left and right. Get back a secondary crush. Alive on 47 HP and 39 mana. Will leave the mid lane. But now finally that Observer Ward can be brought down. If he wants to go back for it after they trigger the Shrine.
And they get the value from the Shrine for the OD as well. Closest Tinker, 200 gold away from his bottle. Still needs a fair way to go.
There it is.
But Qualifier has the lane up on top of his ramp, which is perfect for him. So now there's the uphill mischance from OD. There's the laser blind as well. Cole's going to have
Oh, hello. There's a level 1 Ogre and a level 1 Slider again. Is this still never going to end between these two?
This is what happens, because the Ogre's job is to move around trying to harass mid lane and give the OD an advantage.
Speaking of mid, haste room from Cinder. He's going to run in, and very wisely, Elements pull the courier away. Kuiper's got rockets as well as laser up and running, so if he times it right, which he does, Cole will fall, and the OD is the first blood spilt.
Yeah. Making damn sure that he dies with the laser applied just as the rocket lands, making sure there's like no chance of being saved or a dazzled TP grave or anything like that.
It's been a very hard life for Trixie.
That's fine.
He's just been trying to farm up, like poor man shield, double edging the camps near the top.
He has his QB now. He can just hit creeps until the end of days. How's bottom lane going? Mitch is getting a decent amount of XP.
Yeah, it's getting almost no CS, but that can change with the full creep wave coming out of the tower.
But Honey's going to be able to deny the next wave with this pull across.
Oh, the romance continues. Now they're both level 2. They're like real men battling it out.
I'm telling you, Syndra just has to follow this Ogre wherever he goes. Like, Syndra's always going to get the better trade-off in terms of mana efficiency because he like sprints away when he gets chased down. There's no Orb of Venom or anything. They both have boots. Slider's always going to come out on top. Like, Ogre now has no mana. He can't do anything. Has to go back to base, come back out again. But Syndra in half HP and 1 crush available can slip into another lane, like bottom lane.
And thanks to that Observe Ward that got planted down, this should be the death of Mitch. He has to go to the left, but Syndra knows it. He sees Mitch perfectly. Doesn't have his sprint available, but Mitch is salving up, so a quick crush, cancel off the salve. Air will move over, stun and wave of terror applied, so -3 on the armor from Mitch. Creates a little bit of space, but Syndra has still got a secondary crush available. LeBron, he'll arrive. The battery assault, it doesn't hold Syndra in a position long enough, and the fire burn from LeBron, it wasn't enough. Again, Syndarin, below 50 on both health and mana, runs himself away to safety.
Such a tight line for Era to toe there is
the rocket!
Ooh.
It's a level 1 rocket. It's 80 damage.
That's enough. 40 HP
It's
Syndra.
enough, but it was just off target.
But yeah, the really thin line for Era to toe there is the kind of stutter step around cogs or into cogs, because you either want to be on the very edge of cogs so you don't get pushed back, because like cogs are like one of the glitchiest abilities in the game and have been for a long time. Sometimes you get pushed back if you're like on top of them, sometimes you get dragged in. But towing the line between standing as close to the clockwork as possible so you get pulled in so you can keep hitting him, or trying to stay away so you don't get pushed back. And Era was so close to getting pulled in and killing the clockwork, but Mitch managed to push him back. They're going to go on clockwork again at bottom lane. I don't know if this is just harassment. There's no real kill power as Mitch drops to half HP, but he has no regen left and no shrine.
Burn his regen, and what do you really lose? You're going to get most of your mana back eventually from just the Arcane Aura.
Well, it's a setup for the next attempt, right?
Yeah.
That's like plan A. Go in a little bit, take him to half HP, then of course you follow through.
And it keeps the attention down on bot lane. It allows Syndarin to continue his maneuver. Maybe you could drag the Ogre out and expose the OD once again, because this OD is going to start falling behind. Like, the Tinker is 21-4 up against the 17-6 of the OD, so OD's obviously not having a bad time. But Kuiper's getting some good money. However, Syndarin maybe giving a little bit of extra money over. Imprisoned up, he's still got the sprint on, but he's got to crush a 3-man group up. If he can get the crush off, maybe he'll survive, but he'll lose the Observe Ward that was freshly planted down, as well as his own life.
That's a pretty big win for EPG. Good shot.
Kuiper? He's in very deep. Blast, Ignite, available. Here comes the TP. Syndarin's coming back again, but the stuns are available. Goggy, there's a double-man crush. Kuiper needs to bottle charge his way through this one, but it's just not enough. So both heroes for Nip lost in the mid.
Kuiper maybe not expecting the Ogre just to continue his walk down from that ramp in towards mid. Well, Mitch is under his tower, so he's okay. They're just putting a bit of pressure on him. But this has opened up Trixie now. He's level 6. Stampede is there. Try on bottom lane, but
Are they just trying to get Mitch out?
they just want to keep casting their spells on Mitch. Just
Radiant's
throw
top
spells at
tower
the clockwork
is under
until he
attack.
leaves the lane.
Maybe Kai was also escaping some. Trixie was escaping something on top.
No, Trixie was fine. He like just hit level 6. He was nowhere near danger at all. This is where the Centaur can start really getting some farm. He's got his Tranquil Boots coming on the Courier. He's got raindrops, and now he looks towards that hood. This is going all pretty nicely as planned for NIP. I guess the only thing they're scared of is that
The Slark.
Swift Ending has been farming relatively nicely, but they've got ways to deal with him, regardless of his level of farm, right? They've got Frostbite with that, and Snare, or the Root even. And I've got that Tinker to blind him up and laser him, and if you lay down a couple of marches, even during Shadow Dance, Slark doesn't have the free mobility that he would love to have.
God, Era just got ganked on the bottom lane. That was even before Hookshot. Just watching the smoke maneuver from Synderen and Hani, but Synderen's smoke is already broken. So they put down their own sentry ward. They're only going to find the Dire sentry ward. They don't find the Observer ward. It's on the other side, on the Radiant side of the river. So you just lost your safe lane. If you've wasted the time of your two supports. And that's just after losing both of your mid and now your safe laner. This is... It's problematic because Elements... Yeah, Nip may be happy with a couple of their timings, but the advantage is approaching around 1,000 for both experience as well as gold. The Slark is not being slowed down. He'll have his Shadow Blade at a really good timing. And Mitch with level 6 is already ready to attack. He's in range of the Observer Ward, so they know Mitch is there. They're going to try and pincer him in, but Synderen, he blocked the hook shot by standing in the tree line. He'll lose his life. If they get Mitch, it'll be worth it, however. The damage from the tower is still not enough. Mitch has stick charges. He'll survive. The rockets will fly up and hit the OD, but Mitch is out. He's home.
That's not how things are meant to go.
No. Synderen, I got a funny feeling. He was sitting there, like, I can block this. I'll be able to tank through, and then we'll kill off Mitch. But now you just gave up the haste rune as well to Honey, so alright.
It comes down to that OD Astral, right? Because Tinker's holding onto his spells, waiting for the right time to throw them out. Because Astral, if he had not, like, if he'd been Astral maybe half a second or a second later, he would have rocketed, lasered, killed Mitch, and then maybe even gone further in onto the OD with the help of the central stun. But unfortunately for him, the OD caught him. Didn't let him do that damage. But I still feel that NIP are okay in this. Even if Slark is getting Shadow Blade at a reasonable time, they are securing Tinker his boots of travel. He's 500 away from it. He should have it by like 9.5 minutes, maybe 10.
Trixie might be dead. Start with the Ignite. Double TPs come in. So yeah, Ninjas are also worried. They're going to lose a core. Quick Frostbite onto the Yoga. It's only Hani who completes his TP.
Bottom lane.
Error. One charges. It's enough life. With the one charges, they have just enough to keep him up and turn for us on a Mitch. Trixie also rotated down for this.
There's no Stampede though. It's up in 7.
And Synderen doesn't have Crush. Okay, he'll have it in a second.
Oh, EPG is sticking around way too long for this.
If they can find the opening. Stampede forward. Era's got his stun available, so there it is. They let the stun go with the Wave of Terror. Hoof stomped in. Synderen's on his way up too. The Crush is holding Mitch down. They have the Shallow Grave, but can Mitch get back into relative safety? Yes, he can on 30 HP. Swift ending. Now he's on the bottom lane, and Synderen is the sacrifice. A double kill for him. He already got Hani before coming down to the bot.
Where did Hani die?
I assume
Just
on top lane where he TP'd up.
Huh. Okay.
I can't check because Hani's already managed to respawn,
Yeah,
and I was
same.
focused
like,
too much on bottom lane.
Oh, he was in Fountain. Very quick respawn. Very good respawn. But again, NIP, the plan is still following through. They keep their cores alive. Trixie alive, Era alive, but more importantly, Qualifier has his boots of travel at 10 minutes. Reasonable timing, you know, it's not the best. Usually, if you're going for this BOT's rush, you'd want them by like,
oh the hook! Qualifier, he came in for the Arcane Rune, and now the Battery Assault will hold him in position long enough to get the kill. So Qualifier's down. Yeah, bot item, doesn't lose too much money, but he'll lose time.
That's still fine. That's still fine. He's only got level 2 March, but...
It feels like you're trying to find your Nip happy place.
No, like, it's just the way that I feel this lineup works. They don't... You know, we looked at the draft and the way that EPG have been playing, and it's been all about the early game, you know, as I kind of said in the first 4 picks, EPG, the first like 25, 30 minutes, they want to control all the lanes, or they need to control all the lanes, get their items up on their key heroes, while NIP is more about stall, delay, give away a few piecemeal kills on, you know, Crystal Maiden and Slardar, a few supports here and there. Era's a core Venge. She can die, she can swap in, and it doesn't matter that much. It's more about this Qualifier Tinker and how his timings relate to the timings of his team. So once Qualifier has BOT's Soul Ring Blink, this should tie in nicely with Trixie's Hood and Blink, hopefully for them, and then tie in with a Vengeful Spirit with Helm the Dominator plus maybe a Shadow Blade or a Hurricane Pike.
But it's the fact that Clockwork's had so many successful rotations. Like, Mitch is looking better and better with every minute that goes by, and the fact that Slark is also there. So all these little timings you're talking about, yeah, it's going to be great, but there's still a lot of food on the map for both the Slark as well as the Clockwork to keep pouncing on top of. And these guys, the tankier and the more problematic they become, the more space is created for the OD when the fights also begin.
But this is like the pivotal moment in the game now, is when NIP consider doing like 4-man group ups or 5-man group ups with the help of the Tinker as they split push one lane and shove in another to a tier 1. Because they are very strong in numbers.
Here they go. Stampede is off. That's a attack in towards mid. The TPs are on their way, but already the OD is down. They may as well just complete their gank. They're going for the easiest kill on the map right now, which is a very underfarmed Slaughter who's just trying to find that farm on bot lane. So lock him in the cogs, burn him up. Syndra can crush all he wants. He should not be able to survive this, and even Qualifier can't arrive in time to help him out.
Hookshot was still there, but yeah,
Okay, Arrow with a haste rune. This may work. He just runs in, goes to stun over on mid. There's a multicast from Ogre, but the rockets are still flying in. With the Wave of Terror, the negative armor swifting. Now in he comes. Hani, 3 hits, 4 hits for the Slark to kill him off. The hookshot well off target from Mitch. Flying a little bit too far the left of Trixie.
This is where EPG do very well, in scrappy, short, not extended team fights where they can go in, kill one, and then retreat as they will. This is down to the fact that at this point Slark isn't strong enough to, gather up stacks of essence shift. He's not really tank enough to go in and out of fights just yet.
Yeah.
Just wants to go in, snipe one, get out. Ties him with a hookshot as well from Clockwork. They're kind of one and done for now. Whereas NIP, they can draw out and extend team fights with Swap and Stampede and all this stuff, with Tinker coming in and rearming and TPing back to base to regen and even bottle people up. Like that, I think that's like one of the most underrated things about Tinker is the ability to TP into your teammates, have a fully regen bottle your teammates, TP home, and then come back and do the same thing over again. Okay, it's something that we saw. Was it IG? Doing the Kunkka X mark back into Fountain, buying salves and clarities.
Yeah, it was IG. That was when Chorn was playing for him. Hi, Cinderin.
Oh dear.
Bye, Cinderin.
Now it's getting a little bit scary.
Yeah. This is when you understand just how easy it is for the Slark to kill off these underfarmed cores and underfarmed supports. And you have Slaughter who is he's decently tanky. Ogre kind of gets put in exactly the same kind of position too. Okay, Honey.
He really wanted Ogre to die.
Yeah, Ogre was already dead when he triggered that.
He really wanted him to die.
That's a misclick. That has to be a misclick.
Just hoping that he freezes him hard enough he doesn't respawn.
He was just by himself. Like, the only reason why that might have been better is if the Slark was jumping on top of him. The Slark was visibly showing himself attacking the tier 1 tower on bottom lane, which is also brought down by the die now. So they turn their attention towards the top lane.
Well, Trixie is now 1,000 away from Blink. But equally, Slark nearly completes his Echo Saber, and OD's Hand of Midas is pushing him even closer towards the Hurricane Pike as well.
They gave OD a lot of space too. So when all that rotation was happening around the bottom lane from Elements, OD just left. He went top lane, he continued to farm up, he continued to get more space. It was solo experience, and then leaves the lane at the perfect time too when NIP want to attack in. But the tier 1 tower trade-off, it's just going to be a straight tier 1 for tier 1 unless they feel, okay, yeah, Trixie came in close, he was 1,000 gold away, but the leash, the stomp is enough, the hookshot off target! Trixie actually managed to dodge it out. The cogs will stop NIP from wrapping around to the south side of the tree line, and the tier 1 tower, it does go down to the range creep. Attempted denial was there from NIP that would have made this trade-off a lot more worth it.
So that's 2 tier 1 towers for EPG that they've kind of been given for free with no real defense from NIP. I think the top tier 1 will see a bit of a sterner defense out from NIP with the fact they've got this march up from Tinker now up to level 3. They've got a max rockets and a laser as well. But they just need to secure farm. They just need to keep farming, honestly. Slardar, his Blink is a pipe dream at this point, but
I'm fairly certain that Slaughter isn't even going to consider the Blink. Like, this is Syndra, and he accepts the fact he's going to be a big sacrifice. Having more items on Kai, like a Eul Scepter or some kind of disengage through Glimmer or Force.
No, you need Blink on Slaughter, Toby.
I know you need it, but this is Syndarin. Syndarin will always fall on the sword for the team first. This is just the way he plays. I suppose now with the Iron Talon, maybe he can just sit in the jungle and farm for a bit, but...
I think Hani has to be the sacrifice here. Because you need...
Oh, Hani,
That's a plate mail.
Hani! He's just trying to do as much damage as he can so the Rockets can finish the job, and now, no! Oh, Kai! It didn't have to be this way.
Oh well. Oh well.
It's actually quite a nice creep to kill off too. Take out the Centaur, you take away Tinker's BT position.
But yeah, you desperately need the blink on Slaughter, because what you want to do is blink in with Centaur onto the Dazzle, nuke him down, and then continue the chain stun so he can't grave or weave or anything with the Slaughter. Because Dazzle is the hero that basically wins team fights for EPG. It allows Slark to not get chain stunned and die before he can get off his Shadow Dance or his Dark Pact, keeps him healthy and alive as well, or even the OD before he can Astral. Because they have these kind of multiple defensive mechanisms, right? They've got Astral, they've got Grave, they've got Cogs, Hookshot, ways to
There's
save
your
their
hookshot,
teammates.
flies over, catches out Era. Era needs a target to swap out to right now. He's looking towards center. It's like, please, bro, take it for me. The Wave of Terror will connect on 3 of them, but now the OD imprisonment. Syndrome will come back to the Wall of the Living, just be turned into the graveyard. Down he goes. Maybe there is another opening, but no! Oh, Era! Try and trigger. He knows he has to do it. Throws out the stun, but then a quick Shadow Dance from the Slark to escape. But that TP potentially could have been the worst thing ever.
This is honestly like your typical Tinker game. Oh, we're losing the laning stage. Oh, we're losing the mid game. Wait, I'm a Tinker now. I'm a real hero. I have Blink and Soul Ring. Just wait until he has Ether Lens Aghanims, honestly.
Now I understand why you keep leading the way of NIP. As a Tinker player yourself,
You finally caught
this
on.
has to be it of just like, you know what? Tinker is superior to everybody else.
I've honestly seen so many replays and watched so many games where this exact situation happens, where you have a kind of a semi carry in your one roll, and then you've got Tinker delaying the game, pushing out, making sure that he gets farm, making sure that you take control of your jungle. Your supports keep on feeding and feeding and feeding, but in the end, EPG we saw a severe. Not a flaw, but a hole in their draft. The ability to push high ground.
Yeah.
They don't have a hero to sit up on top of high ground and do damage to tier 3s.
Yeah.
That is problem 1. Problem 2 is walking into March. They need someone to carry pipe. So that's going to have to be the Clockwork.
It's just when you build multiple blade mails.
It kind of has to be the Clock. Oh, I guess you could go multiple blade mails, but OD and Slark don't really want to. And
No.
Ogre shouldn't really.
It's not there. Ogre won't. Ogre's just happy finishing up his Solar Crest.
So this timing where EPG are kind of winning will start to diminish because they can never close, or they find it very difficult to close. They ideally need to win a big team fight outside the Radiant base at some point, maybe with Roshan, maybe with Aegis, and actually finish the game that way. But until that point, NIP are not free to feed, but it's
wow.
Did you get what I mean though? It's dying isn't as drastic as it normally is because of the lineup they have. They can stall and stall and stall, and eventually come mid-game or the end of mid-game, they have this composition that even without a hard carry, even without your conventional Juggernaut or Anti-Mage or Slark, they have good ways of catching and killing through physical and magic damage. But then, the swing back when EPG get BKBs is definitely going to be a big point for them later on.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to see all this damage. So Swiftling, okay, yeah, he knows he's visible. So Goggy can just Sentry, and Observer and Sentry are gone.
What does Slark have now? Oh,
he has a Silver Edge. Yeah. So look to break the aura. I believe you crack both Return as well as the Vengeance Aura, correct?
I mean, it's probably more about damage reduction, honestly. If you damage reduce onto Tinker or Venge, it's pretty good. But
I believe that also transfers into his March too.
Yeah.
So March the Machines does less damage.
I don't believe the ones that are already placed. But
no, it's the ones that you trigger after. There's any kind of magical ability, any kind of ability that you trigger when you're affected by Silver Edge is reduced in damage. Because remember, I checked this with Complexity, with Z-Free, and we tried it out with Lena. For Lena, with Ags and without Ags, and both times she was affected.
It also means you can two-shot Harney's Crystal Maiden as well.
Yeah.
Tranquil Boots, Windlace, and nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not an easy to survive Crystal Maiden game. And I think he knows that too, so he always has to be sitting next to somebody else. It has to be in fact, the two heroes he's with, Trixie and Era. Just hold, stay together, and hope you just get lucky with a Slark running underneath an Observer Ward.
Well, Blink number 1 is ready. Centaur has his, and Qualifier actually goes for the old school Tinker build.
Blink 4 staff.
And 4 staff.
Normally, that's a very like focus on evasion more than anything else.
That's even more of what I was going down the line of. Split push and farm more and more and more. I kind of thought that at this point, maybe they switch and look to get him some kind of item in the near future to actually fight with his
Is coming,
team.
and Era is left alone. The Observer and Sentry from Elements, that's what let them stop this one up. The hookshot's on the side, a quick swap out. Hani dead very, very quickly. So they lock the Centaur in position. All the other TPs are going to work. The Centaur is OD imprisoned up, and 5 heroes around him will fall. 2 heroes without buyback, and the mid-creep wave just arrived at the tier 2 tower.
My confidence is now dwindling pretty quickly. That move there is tipping point for EPG to really swing into 5th gear and start moving forward, take Roshan, look for tier 2s, look for high ground even. Syndran is close to Blink, but you can see what they were doing. Split pushing top, trying to bait EPG into finding the Tinker top lane, farm their own jungle where they feel they are safe. But like you pointed out, that Obs Sentry gives perfect vision for them to just go on in. Now it's
Aegis Immortal.
Yeah.
The tier 2 tower took almost no damage from the Tinker push when he was up there. Like, I cleaned out a wave, but I've still only got like half a creep wave attacking the tower. Add a little bit of pressure. Elements go into a little bit of damage control. What's coming out in that? Is that the 4-staff now done? Yeah, it's the 4-staff for the Clockwork. On top of his Blade Mail, 23 minutes in. It's still just crazy to think, like, okay, Trixie has more net worth. If he finished up the Aghanim Scepter, it's going to be terrific as well. But I still feel like Mitch is doing so much more for his team with these jump-ins, with any kind of control, having the Blade Mail there. There's no way that Crystal Mania can really do any kind of damage during fights either.
That's all thanks to EPG kind of moving as a 5-man unit until now, when they've started to deal with the Tinker split push and move around across the lanes to keep equilibrium out across the river. As soon as EPG decides it's go time, it is go time.
I'm interested if this really works, however. Like, the only detection they're bringing, so if the Slark is running around and he goes into Silver Edge, the only detection you're bringing is one set of dust, and that's on the Crystal Maiden, who's at the back of the line, not the front.
Tinker might die. Wait, where did Tinker just go?
Back home.
I thought he was TPing bot lane. Like fake TPing around.
Yeah, I think Quoth has done that when he sits at base, right?
Yeah.
He does the fake TPs.
Pretty much everyone does. You just want to try and bait a reaction. Or at least force someone to show themselves on the map, because people often wait for like the first TP to get cancelled, then move for the second one. And once they realize you're not coming, they've also realized they've missed out on, 3 creeps of a wave or a whole wave that's gone by because they've been standing around waiting for that kill.
I'll take that.
There's just like such heavy bait on top when the VS is doing that push. And Elements didn't take it. Like, they're very happy pushing out bottom lane. They trigger the Shadow Wave nice and early too, so if Ninjas and Pyjamas want to try and fight this, that's going to be a very high armor Slark, plus having the Aegis. Not to mention the Ogre, who is now cracking the 40 armor mark.
Really?
Yeah. Because of Weave. Okay, 11 plus 45. It just keeps adding up
Oh wow.
and going up. So he ends with, okay, that was 11 plus 49, I think it was. So yeah, hook shot forward, they catch out the Vengeful Spirit, a couple of orbs with a pushback too. Era has to commit the Hurricane Pike, but Cole stun is the only thing that might save Era, and the Stampede over. Trixie jumps in with the double edge, OD so low, the life, where's the Shallow Grave? OD self-imprisoned, he'll survive. Nip won't be there on the front line, slow enough, and then he blinks forward to help with the damage to kill off Era. EPG, really great team fights, and another 2 heroes lost for NIP with no real trade coming out from Elements.
All of a sudden they come out of the woodwork, 5 heroes top lane from nothing. And those 2 NIP guys were like, well, where's the rest of our team? Our 2 supports have ditched, they've gone back to go and farm. Tinker's not joined in any team fights really.
And Tinker's just trying to do anything he can to slow down the push, like an Aghanim Scepter build looks to be his approach.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still wondering what the thought process is behind NIP not wanting to fight as 5 ever. I really felt that once they hit this timing where they had, double blinks, Slardar Centaur have them. They've got Tinker with Blink 4 staff. Feels like Koikva's really calling the shots here in terms of when he will and will not join fights, in terms of what item progression he's managed to achieve. And it looks like Aghanim Scepter might be that final piece of the puzzle before they want to go. Or maybe they're thinking even further forward and waiting for EPG to, run out the time on the Aegis, wait for them to make a mistake near the Radiant base, and then go and claim some towers and map control for themselves.
Hi, honey. Swifting breaks out of his invis and just like, yeah, it's cool. Don't mind. Just reminding Crystal Maiden where the safest place is to be, and Hardy is there now. I think this is actually the only place he can stay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Hide away.
Well, Swifting again is on the run. Era's moving north.
So,
It's just so quick.
I wonder how
The
many
Silver
more.
Edge is going to wear off at the last moment, but he just goes on it. Tries to kill off Era. Era taking so much damage, and again, Cinderin becomes the sacrificial swap.
He's got blink.
He does, so he'll blink up and TP out of the trees. Arrow with a stampede. Gets us high up north, and the OD. Well, he releases the hammer. Unfortunately, he missed the nail.
Hits his thumb instead. I wonder how many Tinker Wards EPG are going to start placing down. They've got one bottom lane. And Mitch actually tried to go for a Cogs play down there. Didn't launch a hook, but yeah. Rocket Flare and Cogs to try and see him. But Pyjamas, he hasn't been in that area once. He's always sort of around this tier 1 bottom lane, shoving towards mid. And the fact he's got Force and Blink means that he moves from one position to another incredibly quickly.
NIP have managed to wait out the entire time of the Aegis. So, small advantage for them, the fact the Slark doesn't have that. But the Slark has BKB, Echo, Silver Edge, and is now starting to work his way towards the Basher.
Dire's bottom tower is
And
under
eventually with the
attack.
Abyssal Blade, the lockdown control is going to be too
Dire's
much.
bottom tower has fallen.
But it does feel like Elements are starting to lose a little bit out in the trade. Like you mentioned, like you need more of those Tinker Wards, right? But that bottom lane is
then-
becoming Coif's bitch.
But then using every single one of your wards, like you've got a limited stock of wards, right?
Yep.
Using more than one of those in a Tinker Ward is not really that efficient.
Radiant's top tower is under
So the
attack.
more efficient thing is just to attack.
Dire's bottom
Use your
tower
strength
is
that you've
under
got right now. Let the Slark take the brunt of the attack, burn through these towers before it becomes too much.
Radiant's
It's
top
like
tower
30 minutes in.
has
This is like breaking point, and they've got the double BKBs I mentioned earlier. This is
Yep.
this is the time for EPG to actually think about, closing out this game. The next 10 minutes are very important for them to make sure that they don't lose out on too much. You're saying that they're
Money on that.
maybe slipping on the trade a bit, but Mitch now in trouble bottom lane near his own shrine.
Yeah, maybe. Where's those TP supports coming in? Triggers the shrine as well as the Blade Mail and Cinderin. I don't want any part of it. He's dead. Tries to get away. Became again the buffer for aggression. But look over at LeBron. Like,
Trixie mid.
wait, is he out? Well, he's out so far. I thought he'd just end up running backwards, but
Oh, he has Axe ulti.
okay.
He's fine.
But maybe
Right.
not. Like, Swifting's got another pounce up in a second, so they push him forward and then get the leash.
Oh, the rocket.
Trixie will go down to Mitch's rocket, and Arrow's on the run too. Behind him with the
dear.
Silver Edge, so break the aura. Throw him down with the Poison Touch, and now Arrow will go down as well. They lose one support and 2 cores in the space of 30 seconds.
That's very not good. That is not really acceptable for NIP. Like, losing Trixie. First of all, Trixie is way out of position. He is taking a wave, maybe expecting the full rotation down towards the bottom shrine to help out the clockwork from EPG. But you've only seen, what, 1 TP and maybe 1 rotation, so you know that there's 2 or 3 heroes at that shrine. You have no idea where the other 2 are, and when one of those is
Radiant
Slark, when one of those is like the most
structures
farmed hero in the game, that
Radiant's
can kill
middle
you in a
tower
number of
is under
hits and
attack.
stop you escaping
Uh-huh.
with the pounce and leash, you cannot be standing alone, regardless of having Venge swap nearby. Venge also doesn't want to die. She's not a
Radiant's
support,
middle
she is
tower
your
has
carry.
fallen.
Here they go.
Both is huge.
Top tower
2 10-second BKB still up and running. With all those fires having to trigger it, the laser will cause some problems. Missed chances galore, but they burn through 1/3 of the tier 3.
I guess the one silver lining to the fact that Venge and Centaur died is that they died far enough away from their tier 3s that they couldn't push high ground.
That is an upside. Observer and Sentry is down. So Ninjas in Pyjamas, any of their movement is very, very visible. And what's Cinder going to do? Afford a Sentry Ward? Not going to happen.
Nah, he needs 4 staff to get out of Cogs, or to push his teammates out of Cogs.
But you see Kai. Kai's walking around with 5 sentries at the moment.
Actually, how many forces will they have?
He's looking for the quirky wards. Goodbye, Cinderin. Hook shot
Hook
down.
shot onto
The
the
Ogre Frost Mage is able to block it. It's just a donating creep blocking it out. They'll kill it off. Alright, so Kai's second sentry does find the Observer ward. But there's still another Observer and Sentry in front of Roshan, who's up in a second. And I got a funny feeling that Ninjas in Pyjamas, like, they can't really take that, can they?
But look
Like,
at-
can you smoke in and steal Roshan?
I'm not sure they
Dire's
need to.
top tower
With
is under
Qualifier split
attack.
pushing top and the fact that EPG only function as like a 5-man unit the majority of the time, they're all grouped up in this Radiant jungle trying to push one lane at the same time they're losing out heavily on top. Tier 3 is getting chipped away at here.
So
Dire's
going
top
into a
tower
5-man
is under
situation like
attack.
Roshan is the exact opposite of what they should do.
Unless they have their lanes pushed out, I think, like, Tinker's a weird hero, right? He's very good at shoving waves, but not very good at hitting towers, so he almost entirely relies on creeps and
Dire's top
catapult
tower
waves to
is
actually
under
hit
attack.
buildings. So it's going to be a slow death of the tower, but it's still damage that NIP shouldn't be allowed to have in this game. And you can see now, EPG, they are ready and waiting. They want to find this Tinker. They need to kill this Tinker and maybe force a buyback so they can push high ground with the BKBs.
But Tinker's focusing on the top lane now. Like, with the shrine positioning, he's just going out, he's taking the easy farm where he can get it. When the top lane is pushed in far enough, he goes for that with Trixie behind him. Then he's not looking to the bot lane unless it hits the tower, because he knows Elements have been hunting this area. So Elements are hunting, but unfortunately, the game they're chasing is really not interested in coming out for a season on himself.
And they're still waiting.
They'll be waiting a long time.
They're going to give up now? You're going to give up? Give up now?
Yeah, Gogi shows himself with a quick hit. Like, the instant ping becomes out. It's like, yeah, boys, they're down here. And now Qualifier will arrive.
Oh, Mitch, no, oh no. If he had not rocket flared top lane, or wherever he went, mid lane. Actually, no, he rocketed Roshan. Never mind. He rocketed Roshan for the vision. But if he had not done that, or waited a second longer, he would have seen the march from Qualifier. He would have known he's in the trees. He would have launched the rocket flare, got vision, and hookshotted onto him. Maybe wouldn't have killed him, thanks to the force staff of Tinker able to push him out of cogs and keep him safe. But still would have been that kind of trigger for NIP to be a little more wary and maybe hide in their base for a little bit longer. But here comes the Roshan you were talking about.
Yeah, and this is that point too where you wonder, like that Dire Observer Ward has now timed out, so they're having to use Rocket to look out over towards the shrine, because Tinker could just basically blink at this point and then coat the pit in March's machines. But it's all a little bit too late, so Elements have already got it. There's no real answer to this, so they have the Aegis Immortal again into the hands of the Slark. And Tinker feels very, very comfortable now jumping down to the bottom lane to push this. Meanwhile, the rest of NIP are up on the top, like they're preparing the trap on the lane. Tinker can BT himself in. And Gogi, okay, he reveals himself. The range creep turns around. Cinderin, a blink, crush, and freebie. The Dazzle walks in, and now 50 seconds with him on the sideline just after he got the Aegis.
That's the first kill that NIP have had.
Get out! Oh! He re-armed and blinked.
No, he knew there was an observer ward there.
Yeah, he de-warded it.
Yeah.
But the fact the hook shot was right on him, so he forced-staffed himself forward. The hook shot was right on the money, and then he blinked away after he re-armed.
So what happened was Qualifier was pushing this lane at bottom, and with the march happening, the creeps actually aggroed on him after he blinked here. So he knew the observer ward was up on the high ground simply because of the aggro that creeps drew. He started spamming like, guys, they can see me. Brings out a sentry, de-wards, and then nearly gets caught.
And he is so hard to find.
Clock nearly has Axe though, so you can just start throwing hook shots left, right, and center.
Yep. Guesstimation. And there's still so much money coming into the cause of Elements. So the Full Abyssal Blade is now completed. Slark is eyeing off a Butterfly as his next major item. This Scythe of Vice is almost done as well for Cole. So I'll have his disabled as well.
BKB's done for Era.
I'll take that.
Nice little team fight item for him so he doesn't get picked off immediately.
Take Anthony can get. So you got the BKBs from him. You've got the Aghanims to slow down the damage on that side too. Cinderin has almost finished up his 4-staff. He's now 20 gold away from it. So they'll have more maneuverability out of that. Goodbye, Ogre Frostmage. It was nice knowing you. But you serve your purpose. Trixie is just hiding in the trees.
But yeah, that's the first kill NIP have had, the one on the Dazzle at top lane. The first kill since like 16 minutes in. 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes since NIP got a kill until that one on Dazzle at top.
Wait, really? 20 minutes?
Well, look, it's 420 now. They had 3 kills previously. They got 1 kill at like 2 minutes or something. Tinker killed OD. Then they got a kill at like 12 minutes where Venge killed OD. And then they got a kill at like 16 minutes where Venge killed Ogre. And it's now 36 minutes in. Maybe it was like 17 minutes, but it's still a long bloody time.
Oh,
but you get no kills at all,
Mitch,
and all you're doing
throw
is
it,
creeps.
throw it. The rocket goes up. Oh no, he blinks just in time, just out of range of the hook shot.
Tinker!
Slippery little sucker. Trixie is now on top of a Tinker Ward. He walked out to that one, blinked up, the Hex is there, and that's one very dead Centaur. And he will actually reveal the fact the Observer Ward is up there, just got pinged out by Tinker. He's trying to juke it, the Half Stop,
yo,
Trixie,
no
the Urn is
way.
keeping his Blink Dagger on cooldown. He won't survive this, but he wastes the time, reveals the ward, and you'd probably say technically this is a better thing, because it's not quite for who's dying. And it's really stupid to say something like this. Like, you've lost your main initiator for a minute without buyback, but you don't lose your split pusher.
Or your base defender.
Or your base defender. Or basically your team. In
Yeah.
one hero.
Pretty much. I mean, I've been saying it since the start of the game. This is the Tinker show. The entire game is about Tinker's timings. And about Tinker split pushing. I did question the force staff, but I've really liked it this game. The fact that Qualifier has been able to be not just mobile, but like hyper mobile.
Yeah.
Able to get out cogs away from every single dangerous situation has been really nice to watch. And it's been a long time since we've seen it, but Qualifier is one of those guys. He even buys force staff still on Invoker.
Laser on laser. I think Tinker is very happy to tank that. This Lotus Orb protecting from the Ogre. Like, Ogre's walking around with so much money because he got his first talent as a 60 gold per minute. So he's working his way towards the Aghanim Scepter, towards all these extra stuns. And Qualifier was also stealing the Tome of Knowledge. He actually stole it from Syndra and from everyone else. Yeah, he bought it and then actually used it so he could try and push himself up. I don't know if he's looking for the spell lifesteal, if he's looking for the 100% or the 100 laser damage, considering he has the Aghanims.
Oh, swift ending.
The swap up is the VS trying to initiate the laser hit so hard. Swift is so low. Remember, he's still got the Aegis Immortal, however, but he's lost his Ogre. They want more. Syndra too far forward. That BKB lasted a little bit longer. Maybe he thought he had time to get the crush out. But it's a 1-for-1 trade-off.
And Tinker's ready again.
Yeah.
Radiant
Ready to
structures
fight. They keep the Wave of Terrors going. The fortification is triggered.
Thanks for that.
Maybe worried a little bit too much about the chip damage coming to the tower, but then Qualifier now going down the bottom lane. Tries to make elements look behind themselves. And Mitch is just going to throw a wild hook. Yep. But Tinker's already gone.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
See, it's difficult for me, right? It's difficult for me. I really like Tinker. I kind of like Nip. I've known a bunch of the EPG guys for a while, you know, played with a couple of them back on Garena.
Uh-huh.
Met Mitch at Dota Pit last year. He's a good lad. I feel like I'm being a little bit biased towards Nip just because of the Tinker in the game and the way things are going.
I think it's just you're biased towards the way Tinker plays the game.
Probably.
It's not the teams, it's the hero you're actually biased towards.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
Wait,
100%.
is this Nip? Are we actually going to see like our first smoke in... Oh wait, no, they might just be looking for the Observer Ward.
They just want to hit creeps, Toby. Nip just wants to go and take one creep from top wave. Just give me some creeps.
Oh, Trixie has already filled his quota. He took the entire wave.
Oh dear.
But he's building towards... Hang on. Alright, so he's... Yeah, I actually thought Trixie was going to go for the refresher.
What's he buying?
Oh, he has
Lotus.
the Perseverance, but it's Lotus.
Okay.
Not exactly certain what he's looking to reflect, or maybe it's just he's just trying to break free.
Purge Hex, I think. Or
Yeah.
just Dispel Hex.
Yeah, that would make the most amount of sense. Swiftling gonna come in, starts his attack. It's over on the Slaughter. Yep. Very quick death. And Trixie again, he's underneath the Observer Ward, starts the TP, Abyssal Blade is available. And he just triggers it, make sure he gets the kill over on the Centaur. So 2 heroes lost on the top.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Roshan's still not up.
Did you know that the active of Abyssal Blade is called Overwhelm?
I did not.
You learn something new every day.
Did you just read that?
I literally just read that. Because I was thinking to myself, I just said bash, but I meant Abyssal Blade active. I wonder if it has a name. And I looked at it and I was like, huh, it has a name.
Qualifier just ended a killing spree. That's enough money for his side device. They're trying to catch Era out before he can get back into base, so he triggers the BKB. He knows. He knows. They know. So you just burnt a 10-second BKB out of the fear of being ganked running into your own base. Swiftning will be pushed away. Kuiper keeps the laser and rockets going, and they just keep chipping the laser and rockets. Do so much damage.
Tinker's still alive. You can't push the high ground.
See, that's why I'm wondering, like, if he wants to go.
This is so annoying.
Like, if he wants to go for the life steal, or if he wants to go for the laser, the amount of damage he just did with just the laser bouncing there.
Oh, you very rarely go for like lifesteal is.
Is it like if you go, like if you're worried about like all the blade mail guys sitting in there and you get the life back, alright? Or is it what?
I mean, you can go that way, but lifesteal is generally bad because as Tinker, you don't want to be in the middle of a fight losing HP. And if you are caught, you are likely stunned and dead anyway without any chance to cast all of your spells. So just having that extra damage on laser because you want to perpetually cast it, plus 100 laser damage is almost plus infinite damage, right?
Yeah, because it bounces everything.
It's not. I'm exaggerating a little bit,
Yeah.
but it does amplify. It's not just a flat plus 100. It's a plus 100 every rearm, which happens, 4 or 5 times a fight. So it's more like plus 500 damage, single target, then the refractions added onto it, so you can start multiplying massively. Also, spell lifesteal is pretty dog anyway.
Kuiper needs a moment where he can actually go up and buy the scythe. He's spending so much time bouncing around. Like, his surplus is 6,000 at the moment, so he can definitely buy a secondary item. And it is going to get to a point soon, too, where he's going to have more money than his entire team combined. It's the issue, right, with the Tinker. Like, you just keep going with the Tinker, you keep pushing at the lanes, and you take all of the space.
It's like Naga, eggs in one basket kind of situation.
Yeah.
But he's still a hero that's capable of almost solo carrying a game with that chain hex. If you get onto a Slark or an OD and you're able to burst them down and keep them locked before they can BKB or before they can Shadow Dance, they can die relatively quickly, and there is the Scythe for Qualifier, and he's got the rest of his team fight. I think this is the first time outside of the Radiant base that we've seen 5 Radiant heroes group. Oh no, I've lied. Trixie's back in base. Never mind.
They are retreating. They wanted to go for a gank on bottom, and maybe Era by himself would be enough. And Era by himself is enough to force the tower. So they take a tier 2 tower, they can add some pressure to the bottom lane. Swiftning's pushing him through the top. Now there's no Lotus or protecting him at the moment. And now when the laser connects, Goggy goes down to half life. The rockets continue to fly. Not even with March of the Machines, it's the heroes who are under threat.
Blink Ogre. Okay, cool.
He's got the money.
Ags, Lotus. Solar Crest.
It's the 60 gold. It's the 60 gold per minute. Trixie gets the Hoof Stomp off. There goes your lasers again. Slark trying to be protected by the Lotus Orb. They burn through the Aegis. So the rockets will fly the Martian Machines and get more layers down now as Swiftning back to the wall of Olivia, but Era swaps him out. The Hex is perfect and the whole enchilada released by NIP. Cole's coming in now. He's in way to do. Throws the ulti. He can't kill Tinker. Qualifier so low. He needs half a second. Now he can blink back into base. Regenerate. You've lost the 2 big cores. Elements force the issue, and they can't even take a fucking tier 3 tower!
Where's your Aegis and BKBs now, bitches? Tinker.
Oh, that hero is cancer!
How infuriated are you right now?
God!
I saw this coming a mile away, Toby.
It's just disgusting is what it is. And you can see the frustration from Elements. You can see them. Like, every moment the Tinker's like, we've got to go. We've got to kill this damn guy. And even if you do kill him, he's still got buyback. You've got to kill him twice over. And with the 2 cores now dead for so long, okay, they both just got enough money that they have buyback. And they may actually have to use it to defend their mid lane from Nip. They waited 45 minutes for this. Hook shot forward. Lock him, the Centaur, the 4-star, putting Mitch actually into an okay position. Now Era with the swap. Centaur's in a little bit too deep. Synderen has to lend the cross shot. 4-star gets Trixie out of the base. Secondary 4-star, hook shot off target. LeBron, he's locked in with a frostbite in from Hani. So they find that kill now with no Ogre for 75 seconds. Qualifier to the front lines. Let the lasers go. Keep the hexes up. The Martial Machine cover fire. He'll have to go back in just a second if he can to regenerate back up again because he's pretty damn low on mana, but the creep wave is in. The fortification is triggered. The hook shot forward from Mitch. You've still got the TPs out. Synderen, the sacrificial slaughter, is now on the run. Does he have to sacrifice himself? No, he is a clever girl.
Tobes. It's 46 minutes in, it's 9-25, and who loses their first tier 3?
Shit.
From one fight in the Radiant base to taking tier 3 mid lane. Oh boy, you can just see Tinker keeps coming back into the fight, bottling people up, getting these laser spams out, rockets flying, and you know, you've called it a bunch of times when APG are pushing high ground, but when they're on the defensive also being forced to, I guess they didn't use any shrines in this fight, but the next time this comes in, they'll be forced to use multiple shrines just to keep Dazzle and Ogre and Clockwork alive. But I want to go back to EPG pushing high ground because there were 3 key factors I mentioned, right? There was Roshan and Aegis, BKBs on the OD and Slark, but where's the Clock's pipe? I think this is like a massive thing that they're missing out on because of Rocket Spam and March Spam is not having a pipe on their team.
But he had to go for the items he has.
I think he did. I think he did. So then the question is, why didn't Ogre go for the pipe?
Okay, you want a BKB?
Clock.
Yeah, why isn't Ogre?
Yeah,
Mr. I've got Blink Dagger.
See, that's the thing. I agree with Clock not going pipe and going for these items, and that then shifts the kind of onus onto the Ogre. Why go Aghanims?
And you see exactly what he puts in his quick buy. As you are talking about this, he shifts his quick buy to be pipe. They're identifying the issues.
Yeah, I think that's the correct decision.
But then you're also now seeing Era getting more money. He's looking at a Bloodthorn after finishing up his Butterfly. There's more and more things coming the way here of Ninjas in Pyjamas, but on the other bright side, Elements can start fighting Nip outside of Nip's base because they're getting confident enough that they can run out and take the fight. So the 5-man maneuvering of Elements could start working in their favor. It's stupid to think of it this way, but it's accurate. You wanted Nip to come out and not just do what they're doing now. And the Observer Ward, it's got the timing. It sees Era. They know where they can fight. Trick's in the neighborhood too, and he'll reveal himself. They can go for both. To the blink forward, you still got the Stampede off, so Era will go east. Trixie will try and survive as the Abyssal Blades just start bouncing around each other. Do they get the kill? Is there an imprisonment? Era's protected by BKB. So it's only Trixie that will lose his life. And reveals the fact they did have an Observe Ward up on the hill. And they'll throw a secondary one down too from Goggy.
They get one. But again, that one is the Centaur.
They have to get top racks now. Like, or force the buyback out from Centaur. Because right now, okay, so he finished up his Lotus Orb. He finished up, like, he's got a couple of extra items. He's looking at the Refresher. If you have double Refresher, you're already having enough issue doing enough damage to kill off the Tinker that first time they attempted this push.
Having double Stampede with that damage reduction is huge for them.
Yep.
And you don't have an MKB on Slark, and Odie doesn't want to buy one either. And now you're looking at the big Dagon purchases for Koikva. This is where the burst damage comes through, and we saw how quickly Slark died, even with Lotus and Lincoln.
Cinderin
can burn through.
There goes your BKB. Wow. Swifting triggers it so well. He's here for the racks. That's all he wants. He doesn't care about anything else. The hook shot flies all the way down, and they're looking towards the kills. A couple of quick ones. So Cinderin is down. The hoof's on forward. Mitch protected by his own BKB. As Elements start their retreat, but Era pulls him back into the fight with that swap. Mitch still in trouble. The BKB is protecting him. 150 life. He'll get back out again. Out of range of both the arrows as well as the laser. Koifa's in trouble. Cole will drop the ulti. Cinderin with a dieback. And you'll have Koifa now buyback as well. They still haven't taken the racks, but maybe they can just take the scalps in the fight. Era's doing work. He'll finally bring down the OD. Honey will let it go. And Swiftning, he'll come back in again. Go for the hit. The racks are still alive, and Slark is not. He'll go down. The buybacks were not committed by Elements, but Nip definitely had to. They'll defend this. Ogre will buy back. He's there just to push out the bottom lane and create some space.
Whew. 3 buybacks from Nip. Slaughter, Tinker, and Centaur to defend their racks, but they hold the line. The melee racks was the one that was targeted. It will heal up and regen slowly but surely, and Koik was looking for more.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my goodness, that OD did so much.
Koif is a solo killing machine. Like, he's got Scythe, he's got Dagon, he can keep LeBron locked down, and even though LeBron's got 2.7k life, he can still solo kill him. It would take everything that Tinker has to do it, but he could do it.
And this is where Tinker starts cycling through his multitude of items. What has he got now? 4, 7? I guess 6 if you minus the Soul Ring.
Yeah.
6 slotted for now. I wonder what comes up next. We don't see
Necros.
We don't see Bloodstone anymore. Necros, I guess.
I'm thinking whatever is able
I
to keep the lanes pushing with any kind of like momentum. Like
I even think BKB for Tinker here, up against the OD.
Yeah.
Maybe he considers a Lincoln, like For high ground defense, a Lincoln's or a Lotus Orb that he can put on his own teammates and then swap out in the fountain and put his Ags and Aether Lens back in is good.
Is it worth actually like switching out the Aether Lens for Octarine?
No, Octarine's not good on
You don't want him? You don't want it?
I mean, Octarine gives you like cooldown reduction and...
I'm just thinking because the fights that Elements are taking, they're really getting up in his face. Where you don't have the live steal, you can still look to have like the regeneration from Octarine.
Smart money.
I think you just want to go like active items, Manta, BKB, Lincoln's, Lotus.
Invisibility.
What else is there? There's this Southeast Asian Tinker player called Chains, and he's arguably top 10 in the world on Tinker, probably the best in Southeast Asia, if not top 3. And one of his builds was once Tinker got to a point where he had Ethereal Blade, Dagon, Hex, Bloodstone, all this nonsense, he would go Manta Radiance.
You might have to hold that thought for a moment. Swiftling's coming over. The Observer and Sentry is down. But he's also under the cover of smoke, which is why he didn't get revealed. The Observer Ward, which Elements has left inside the base of Ninjas in Pyjamas, has let them know what's going on. That's why they can wrap around with the smoke. So it's a 4-man group up. Tinker is not here. They smoke again and instantly breaks. Slark comes in. They try and make a break for the tree line. Strixie misses on the hoof stop. He's still got the movement speed to get away, but it's the hook shot in the back lines. They found the extra one. It's Cinderon who's going to go down. Harney lets his ulti go, but there's no buybacks for these heroes. Qualifier starts pushing out the mid lane, trying to create some level of momentum to get Elements to look behind themselves, because remember, they don't have the creep wave, so the backdoor regeneration will be there, but they can probably fight through it, depending on if Tinker is there, because then you're going to have Laser. So, actually, they can't do jack shit. They got 2 amazing kills, they have almost 1 minute of opening, and they can do Roshan as their only objective.
I mean, Roshan's still pretty good. They got very close to taking down melee racks the previous time. Unfortunately, now it's back up to full HP. But maybe with Aegis on the... Well, I wonder, did they give it to OD or Slark? I feel like OD's doing more damage and needs to be kept alive more than the Slark does at this point, because Slark has BKB Lincolns. But I guess there's cheeses. Oh, this is a hard choice, actually. Maybe you give the cheese to OD and the Aegis to Slark so you can stand high ground and take the brunt of the damage anyway.
I just want to display this graph for a second.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
30,000 advantage. Bit by bit. It's being dragged back up. The gold still goes way of Elements by 12,000. And you're getting diminishing returns on it anyway, because like most of it is on the Tinker. Your next net worth is 25,000, which does belong to the VS who did complete up a Bloodthorn, which is a really, really nice item if you could just catch that one hero and keep him disabled.
Catch the Dazzle. Bloodthorn, the bloody Dazzle.
No Shallow Grave to fight.
No Shadow Wave, no Weave.
Well, the Weave is probably going to happen before the fight begins anyway, right? Swiftling's now looking towards his Moonshot. He'll have to consume it, obviously, because he's basically maxed. So the only other option he might have is what? Give up treads to go Butterfly. Like, that may be the only other option.
Where's the Ogre's Pipe, Toby?
That's, what's he building now? Nothing. Well, he's died a hell of a lot. Shut up. Get off him.
But it was in his... It was in his quick buy.
It was. I think maybe now he's realized I need buyback.
He bought back to defend bot lane not long ago. 2.5 minutes until it's off.
Now the push begins. Let's bring up the menu again too. So that there's 3 buybacks available. Clockwork, Blind, Hookshot, almost actually hit Qualifier as well. But Qualifier just has to keep this March wave up. The second they enter the base, there needs to be heavy amounts of damage that just nukes the creep wave.
The standoff across the ramps.
And put Trixie on the front lines. You want to have a crack at me, bro?
You want to go, mate?
Yeah.
You want to go?
You want to blink it and hex? Hex yourself.
Walking into Barney Rubble.
Trouble.
Yeah, well done, Toby.
Ah.
Cockney rhyming slang. You're going to learn that when you move.
Shush. Start the march again. The creep waves are going the way of Elements on the middle and as well as the bottom. So you don't have the same situation as before where NIP kind of had that momentum. And yeah, you can see Qualifier already looking to rectify the situation. Push down the bottom lane. They reveal the Slark in the mid for a second. There's so many Lotus Orbs on the ground. So even if that Hex does come in from Elements, I don't think the Hex lasts that long from Cole.
Oh my god.
Like everyone's just rolling in the dough.
BKBs, Lotus Orbs, all sorts of nonsense. What are they waiting for?
They're coming in now. There's still a sentry on the ground. Trixie jumps forward, looking for the Hoof Stomp. And now, Trixie quickly forced staffed away. Hook shot forward, right on top of the Centaur. The Clockwork. Hook cocks himself in with Cinderin. So Mitch, Shallow Grave will hold him there. The fortification, it keeps the melee racks alive. Swifting, he just wants to end the racks. He's able to do so. And now, run away! There's a 3-man crush from Cinderin. It won't actually allow it to happen. The extra summon to Ogre. They keep him controlled. The Bloodthorn was on him too. As Mitch hook shots back in again. Another quick cogs, keeping Cinderin out of this fight. But the swap, he'll drag Mitch back in again. Dagon down, a heavy amount of damage, but after 57 minutes of trying, the melee racks has been claimed.
Are under attack.
Oh my goodness gracious me. But now you're seeing buybacks come back off cooldown, right? There's only one guy, the Ogre, that doesn't have it for 15 seconds, but by that time, everyone in the game, bar Cinderin, who doesn't have enough money, unfortunately, will have buyback. And Toby, you know what's going to happen? We're going to repeat this cycle several more times.
Yes, but the difference is now the shrines are going down too. Because she got through it, now Tinker doesn't have all these wonderful easy positions just to jump out to and keep the pressure going.
Little bunkers to stand on.
Yep, doesn't have any of this. So slowly and surely, like a leech on a pajama, they will be bled dry by EPG. Eventually. As long as EPG doesn't have another fight like they had the first time they tried to push in through top. Because if that happens, the pushing power with a Vengeful Spirit, if he can survive, is so huge that they could probably just rip through the racks.
I think someone needs to go pee-pee.
Welcome to the race of people with extremely weak bladders.
Dude, it's like 60 minutes in. Like, sometimes that just happens, you know, you're taking a sip of your drink, you got some energy drink or some lovely fruit juice or something, and you're just, you know, sipping away, and all of a sudden, an hour has passed in a game against a Tinker, you're getting anxious, and, you know, you're tensing up, and all of a sudden, I really need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Well done on the Twitch chat, by the way.
Yeah.
I do keep an eye on things.
I'm just flaming you in Twitch chat,
I saw
dude.
that go through. It's fine. I'll take the flame for the Octarine. It was a stupid idiot thing to say.
I didn't want to call you an idiot, but now you've said it.
It's fine. I'm an idiot.
Octarine is like not an item on Tinker.
It is not. I'm allowed to have one moment
Sure.
a day. That's my one moment.
I let you have it.
Thanks, bro.
Until Twitch chat caught up with a delay.
That's fine. Yeah. So
this game is it's giving
Like,
me Toby, this game's giving me the giggles. I still can't believe that NIP have actually made it over 10 kills in this game. I was so content just watching them not kill anyone for a good 20 minutes. Waiting and waiting. What have you found? Please let me play Rubik.
I'm doing the effigies, but it won't let me click on the bloody Marana one. Mitch's classic Marana. What this should actually say is never forget DreamHack. He went like 1 for 16 on his Marana and missed almost every single arrow.
Which DreamHack was that?
This was one of the this is when he was playing under Fnatic.
Oh wow, the Serbian Fnatic.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a long time ago.
It's a very, very long time ago. Really?
That was pre-Fnatic EU, right? Or was that after Fnatic? I always get
No, it was before Fnatic EU. This was back when Syndrome was playing, and he won a DreamHack.
MTW?
He won.
MTW was with Sokshka, fucking mad.
That was
Fonzie.
when. Hang on, MTW.
They beat Nav.
Yeah, they beat Navi.
Yeah,
But
that
there
was
was.
MTW.
But there was another one. Maybe it was EG versus. No, it was EG versus Fnatic. It was when EG won it, and it was the team with Beaters, Jacob, Melk. Had Fear in it.
Was Mason after that?
Mason was after that time.
TI, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
My chronology is a
Yeah,
bit messed up.
Demon Jimmy had Jimmy in it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Fnatic raid call. EG raid call. What happened to raid call, guys?
Yeah, that's a good question. Question I'm really happy not to answer.
EMS1 raid call.
Does with the massively sexist advert.
Oh no, we're not going to go into that. Also the fact that when they said raid call, it sounded like something else.
Yes, that's what I'm meaning.
Oh no,
it was the girls who were saying that stuff. It was
the advert was like pretty dodgy as well.
It was very odd. Alright, so Aegis model just gets reclaimed, so Odie's now lost his immortality. You get a big movement. Okay, LeBron is standing on top of a rating observer in Century 1. This is so juicy. Blink, crush. Okay. Okay, honey.
Kitchen sink.
He's like, I don't care. We're getting this kill and we're getting out.
They bloodthorned him and freezing fielded on top.
Yeah. There's this is probably a little bit of frustration as well, where Hani can finally say, "I'm useful.
I did something.
I did a thing." The dire scan is there. They're trying to hit Cinder, and it triggered. It triggered for a fraction of a second, and then he blinked and TP'd away. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are now crossing over the hour mark.
Now.
And I got a funny feeling we have a lot more time to go with
I need
this
to
game.
pee, Toby.
Do you?
Can we ask them to pause?
You could just go for a
No,
run if you wanted
I'm
to.
joking. I'm joking.
They had a pause for a piss break before. Should have made the most out of that, man.
Yeah. It's long gone.
I'll learn the skill of a 5-year-old, controlling your own bladder.
Anyone got a bottle?
This'll come in handy.
Oh dear.
Alright, so the tier 3 tower finally has, like, it's been a while since this thing's taken any kind of damage. But NIP are grouped up for this, so the Tinker can hold the lanes at bay. He doesn't have his 4-star on him at the moment.
And the one lane with the racks down for the Radiant is the one being pushed. So they're not under threat from, top lane being dived into their base.
Yep. Qualifier got the defense very well under control. With Observer and Sentries down too, they can see when someone like, for example, Mitch walks forward, looking for their target. Have they got themselves a gem? There's a gem over on Trixie, but there's no gem in the hands of EPG at the moment.
I still think one of the coolest things about Tinker is that compared to other mids and carries, they peak and they plateau, right? Once they reach a certain amount of items, they get 6 slotted or they get 8 slotted, they got refreshes, BKBs, whatever. They peak and they plateau, or sometimes they even dip down and have a little bit of a little bit of a trough after the plateau. But with Tinker, it's just a constant rise to power, right? It's just all the way through. I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I will always have another bit of utility or another bit of damage up my sleeve and in my belt or in some little pocket or compartment. I'll drag it out and find a kill. But the fact that you can permanently hex a single member of the opponent team and get the numbers advantage and actually swing fights through that alone, never mind all the other shit he brings to the table, right? It's just, it's borderline game breaking. Borderline. See, if I wasn't a Tinker player and a lover of the hero, I'd probably say it is damn well bloody game breaking because.
Well, you should just counter-picked him a little bit harder from the start,
I know.
locked him down, right?
Yeah.
It's
First pick Nyx,
It's a situation of your own creation. I'm also going to flag the fact too, I'm looking at it, and it's rather appropriate considering I still believe I'm the only caster that's been allowed to give a Melk award.
Radiant's bottom
yeah?
tower is under attack.
0-14 on Synderin.
Oh.
We have a 0-14 on Synderin.
So that's another reason why we want NIP to turn the game. So you can give a. But
Sin needs to die more. He needs to die
But
6 more times without a kill.
But would you still call it like? Do you want to continue the name of the Melk Award?
Oh, it's the Melk Award because Melk was the first one to achieve it.
So it is always.
It's always the Melk Award, but it also gets awarded to somebody else. So everyone is always quested to be a holder of the Melk Award.
Can we make a physical Melk Award?
Yeah, I'll get a paddle pop stick, and it's just basically
a printout of Jacob's face.
Yeah. No, not even a printout of Jacob's face. Like, he's a paddle pop stick, so it's already a representation of Jacob.
Okay. Just some curly hair on top.
Yep. I'll chew the top and just spring.
Play it.
Play it. I'll play a paddle pop stick. Trixie is bait. Through and through, Trixie is bait. Observer and Sentry goes down to as Roshan becomes next primary target. Swiftning losing his ultimate also reveals the fact to him that he is most definitely under a Sentry and Observer ward. So, Era swaps him out. They want the Dazzle, and they get him instantly dead. And then the Hoof Stomp. Mitch caught out of position. He'll BKB up. Era wants to go for more. Remember, he's got that level 25 talent. He can pierce Magic Immunity with the Magic Missile. So the BKB's no longer that easy safety protection that Elements would like. But with one buyback from the Dazzle, Ninjas go back and reset. And let the Tinker do their split push thing.
That could have been disastrous for EPG because OD actually TP'd to the bottom shrine instead of the top one. He was or he was around the bottom shrine instead of the top one. He was miles away from the rest of his team and wasn't actually able to join the fight. The only reason Nip retreated was because Dazzle brought back and OD was off the map missing and could have been high ground against them. But they find a kill, they force a buyback, they're doing pretty nicely.
They finally found the position of the Observer Ward too. They're forcing themselves up on top of the hills looking for any vision
they need
that
March.
Ninjas might have. But Swiftling's doing this by himself at the moment.
Yeah.
They need to do something about this NIP. The rocket flies right over the top of their heads. Very, very visible. You still don't actually have the freezing field, so you don't have that big AoE kind of control against elements that might intimidate them against this.
This is a very tight window.
Yep, there's a jump in. Cinderin's the first one to make the play. Hawkshot, no! He went into the back of LeBron's ass! And now Trixie will go in once again. Roshan outside the pit, stunned up. Trixie losing life very quickly to the Slark. Not to mention shifting that essence over with the Hexes. Now Cole moves to the front lines, throwing out the orbs, looking at the damage. The shallow grave is keeping Mitch alive, allowing him to keep that control going. Era has to swap Hani in. Had no other choice. Hani will die. A double buyback is up. The top lane is pushing in too. This is problematic to say the least. Akoipa adds the pressure to the bottom lane. He's trying to get Elements to go home.
And the biggest issue is there for NIP is that Slark didn't use his refresher. He still has refresh BKB, refresh bits of late, but more importantly refresh Shadow Dance for the next team fight. They could now go high ground and actually look to close this one out. Tier 3 middle lane is on a third of its HP. They can take a second lane of Rax and actually knock the nail on the head and say, no NIP, you cannot stay in this game for another 60 minutes. We are going to take this win out of your hands and finally close it out.
Okay,
but my god.
Synderen is a bastard. He got a kill.
Oh dear.
It's no longer possible. And
That
this is
wasn't-
why the Milk Ward is so hard.
Yeah.
You're never allowed to have one moment of success.
That wasn't meant to happen.
Yep.
Wasn't
And
meant
that's
to
it.
happen. But the window, like I said, the window was so tight there, and Synderen went in straight away. And the reason why I thought it was so tight, because I thought that LIP would try and go in sort of just before Roshan dies. You know, maybe when he's on about 800, 1,000 HP, to try and find a pick and take Roshan themselves, and then swing the fight, or at least try and steal Cheese or Aegis or something, because that adds such a level of uncertainty.
Swifty
for
taking so
EPG.
much damage. If he gets E-Blade popped right now, okay, hook shot, Mitch goes in. Doggy pushing him back out again. I mean, Cole, he's got that refresher orb to look for that one. You got the double butterfly over on the Vengeful Spirit. She's looking for all the damage out, but you lost your melee racks. Trixie jumps in. Synderen, a 3-man crush. Is this an opening with a laser hitting on all 5 heroes? They turn around, attacking the slider. Synderen swapped out by Era. Mitch still wants the kill. The Cogs put the fight up, but OD, he's hitting like a truck. 76 total intelligence. He still hasn't even triggered the ultimate. He's waiting for the Aegis the Immortal to time out. 2 buybacks, the VS and the Crystal Maiden. Swiftening is leaving, and Elements, oh, we said it was a slow bleed. It worked for them, but they can turn around.
Another lane of Rax, if only that range.
They're going for more.
They're going to finish it off. Finish off the lane of Rax. Maybe swing bottom, actually, because, again, they've got this BKB on Slark up in 20 seconds. He did have to use the refresher in the previous fight, but Cole, like you mentioned, Aegis, refresher on him. He's got double standing eclipse in 30 seconds with 80 stolen in, Toby.
That Hex, OD! Okay, they get through the Aegis to the Immortal. So they'll burn that one. The laser does its work. He'll come back. No stolen intelligence anymore, but Koifa stunned up in the tree line. They need to bring him down. They're able to do so. Koifa now has to buy back into the fight. Get to the front line so Era can do his work. Bloodthorn's available. He'll swap back in the OD. OD E-Blade. Oh, he's just destroyed. Koifa once more. LeBron will fall too. The stun. He is being overwhelmed at the moment. Koifa, he can't survive. It's a dieback for him. Era needs to be the man of the moment, of the hour, of the absolute death. The hour is nigh. The hour is gone, and Era, he will be dead in 3, 2. They're letting him go, and it is just a hook shot forward. Hani will go down to the OD.
Slark returns as well. Another lane of Rax, and
It's
Mega Creeps.
GG.
Good game.
68 minutes. It took a very long time. Hey, Era!
And Era stacked butterflies and nearly wins the fight 1v1 against OD as well. Oh man. Okay, if you ever want to learn how to play Tinker against a really noxious, annoying lineup like OD Slark with a Dazzle behind them and an Ogre bloodlusting them, watch this game because Qualifier did an amazing job keeping his team even remotely close to winning.
That he did.
The
That he
Tinker Show.
definitely did.
It was the full-on Tinker Show.
You know the beautiful thing is we have another NIP game coming up in just a bit.
But now I can go pee, Toby. The game's over.
Well, congratulations. You can go and do that. We're going to bounce ourselves through into another game. So stay tuned. We're back. There's more data coming your way. That's only game 2 of day 2 for the European qualifiers for the Kiev major. It's going to be a long day. All right, we'll see you back here in a bit.